All right, I'm going to call our Plan Commission meeting for February 14th, 2022 to order. Roll call, please.
Chris Zellner.
Here.
Phil Willems. Gary Hersberg.
Here.
Brian Malish.
Here.
Chris Thomas.
Here.
Brian Wallace.
Here.
Kevin Phelps.
Here.
Okay, first item we have is minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Chris Thomas. Second by Gary Hertzberg. Any other comments? Call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Public comment. I have two here. I have one to read and one so far. Does anybody else have any forms they want to turn in?
Just one comment is the written comments I provided is on the Heritage Hills item, so I don't know if you want to save those for the public hearing for that item?
I think they're both probably for public hearing for that. So we'll leave them for that then, further than that. Okay, any other public comments anybody would like to make? Okay, seeing none, we'll move forward. Under new business, we're going to number 2, public hearing, discussion action on request by Heritage Hills LLC for consideration of the general development plan, specific implementation plan, and final plat for the second and third additions to the Heritage Hills development.
Thank you, Chair. The applicant is with us and available for questions this evening. They are seeking approval of several things this evening. One is an amendment to the general development plan for Heritage Hills, the specific implementation plan for the portion of Heritage Hills, as well as approval of the final plats for the second and third addition to Heritage Hills. On the screen is the neighborhood as shown. The area up in red at the northwest corner represents the boundaries of the second addition to Heritage Hills plat, and the area shown in blue at the southern portion is the third addition to Heritage Hills plat. The area to the west is where the approved SIP is. And Tracy, if you could advance to the next slide.
Spinning wheel.
I'm trying.
Okay.
Must have fallen asleep on me.
Okay, well, it's not critical. The information is in your packet, but what these slides show is the difference in the old versus what is being proposed for the general development plan. And that is a change, here we go, on the screen. So this is, what's on the screen right now is the adopted plan for Heritage Hills. And the area in purple up in the northwest is the area that is being sought to be amended. And that's this area, if you can go to the next slide, represents a change from 35 single-family lots to 38 single-family lots. So there's, as is pointed out in the staff memo, a change in some of the lot types, but the land use in terms of detached single-family is not changing. None of the street layout is changing, and the covenants for the previous phases will be applicable to this phase. Staff is recommending conditional approval of all of the request. Would like to add one thing, though. You may recall the multifamily lot for this project, the multifamily piece of this, SIP was approved a couple months ago down off of Breinig and State 19. However, utilities were not finalized, and so with the third edition plat, staff is recommending, in addition to what is stated in the summary, prior to signing the third edition plat, utility easements shall be included with locations subject to approval of village engineer and Wanakee Utilities. So with that, available for questions.
Okay, so I'm going to open up public hearing to start with, and I'll read my comments here. So this is from B. Cole, 415 East Verlaine Avenue. She is very concerned about the neighborhood being developed and leading to a lot of traffic on Verlaine Avenue once the roads are built. She's also concerned about a lot of potential parking on the streets, Verlaine and Division, from people using the existing and planned park. Okay, and then we have Maria Pat, who'd like to speak.
Maria Pat, 1000 Wexford Drive. Given where I live, I go up and down Division Street on a very regular basis, and so I'm seeing how the development is going up there on Heritage Hills, and I must say I'm somewhat disappointed. It's very dull looking, and I think if we could find something other than 3 shades of gray and green gray, it would be looking nicer. That's it.
Thank you. Anyone else? I think we're close enough on time, so we'll close our public hearing, and move from there. Would you guys like to have any comments or
Yeah.
make any, go ahead. Yep, if you want.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. Good to see everybody again. I'm Chris Ellers with Meridian. I appreciate the comment. That's in my head. I'm going through the color scheme that we've had out there. We do have at Meridian a rule of 7, where no house can be the same color within 7 houses of each other. It's something that we do when we're doing these master plan communities. But you're right. There's a lot of shades of gray and blue going on right now, and it's something that we probably could take a look at as we work our way up.
One red one.
Yeah, one red. It's give and take, because when you have customers and they get to pick out their color, not everybody's gonna pick red. They all want some shade of gray right now, or blue, because that's what's in. That's the trend right now. Now, where we can control our destiny is about 1 out of every 2 houses that we build is a spec house, and that's where we can start popping in some more color up there. So we will take a look at that. That was a good point. Thanks for pointing that out. So we'll work on that one. As far as the traffic goes, we're following the plan and the build-up. We're working our way up the hill, and I'll just kind of tell you what the plan is for this summer. We started 2 years ago, and that was a big first phase that everybody saw, and we graded and developed our way in. And then we got to last year, which we did a much smaller phase, which was just a small phase north of what we've already done up here. And now it's time for another larger phase where we're going to work our way all the way up the hill. We narrowed down a few home sites along Division Street. Per our initial presentation with the village, we agreed to extend Division. That construction would start in approximately year 3, and that's what we're in, and so that's what we're gonna do this year. We've identified that, these, we call them super estate, or the highest end or most luxury sites that back up to Division might not gain or be worth, $1 million house being built on right along Division. So we said, let's narrow those lots up a little bit to build in kind of a more accurately priced house on those home sites along Division. So that's what we've modified on this. We just kind of narrowed those lots down a little bit. They still will be the wider and larger and deeper lots than anything else we've got in the neighborhood. And then as you get to the top of the hill, those will be some of the nicest home sites in the neighborhood. And we're very excited to, break through to that price point, and then we'll have all our price points covered with this final phase here. So that's what's going on to the north. We anticipate on grading Division Street through. So we're working with the village staff on that plan right now, and we'll grade it through by the end of the year, but we won't pave it until next year. We'll work on in 23. Pave it in 23, which is what the plan is right now. To the south, this winter, we've got our entry monument in. We got it lit up before during the Christmas light parade at Schumacher Farms. That was our big goal, and we got it done. So we're very proud of that. We continue to work on the entry area, get that cleaned up. There will be more activity going on there as they start construction on the multifamily. And, again, we're trying to utilize all of the stone that we have on site, as well as we've created a large hole to dump all of the basement dirt in to really minimize the traffic that will come off site onto Division and out to Main Street. Because we have all our own stone in our area to dump dirt, we will eliminate any trucks leaving the site with stone or hauling dirt out. It'll all be contained on site, and that's a huge reduction in traffic count and trucks on Division and Main Street. Now, that doesn't mean that there won't be some workers and some utility action going on, as they work our way north, and that might be a little bit of a burden, but I feel like we kind of figured that out and how the parking worked during the daytime there with everyone last year. As far as blasting goes, there will be a small amount of utility line and trench blasting. It's much smaller than what was done before. We're all done, like we said. There's no more blasting for rock or for quarrying any of the stone to build all the roads that have an exceptionally deep amount of required stone to be built out in Wanakee. It's something that probably should be looked at down the road here. But we have all the stone we need out there currently. But as we work our way north and a little bit south, you do hit that bedrock. They have a much more controlled area that they'll line blast just to put pipe in. and it's much smaller and should not be felt by anyone. And that'll happen later this summer. As far as the south goes, we're bringing on more of our attainable or entry-level product. We're all sold out of that. To date, we've sold 64 houses out there. So it's really taking off at all different price points. Entry and first-time move-up is what we have now. As we get through these next phases, we'll have second-time move-up and more entry housing. So again, sales have been strong. We're proud to say that our average sale of our entry-level house is about 50 or 60,000 less than the median sales price of a house in Dane County right now. So we are filling the void that was needed here, and giving opportunity to people to buy their first home. We've also sold 3 of our 4 downsizer or retiree type product, our Haven product, which is, again, very exciting. We're capturing that buyer that just wants to retire in Wanakee and spend the summers here, but not the winters. So, again, we'll be bringing more of that on later this summer as well. So, other than that, that's kind of the quick summary of where we're at with everything, and I appreciate the feedback, and we'll talk to our team about trying to get some more housing diversity in on the color scheme. But you'll see it's blue, gray, and red. That's maybe some white. We'll see if we can get some of that in there. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. But there is a limit on the supply side. We're constantly fighting to get material, and there's a huge, of course, back order or limitation of black windows, which you put on a white house, which is, you always want to put black windows on a white sided house. So we're trying to do what we can right now, but we'll take the feedback and see what we can do here. So if there's any questions, let me know.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
All right.
All right. Commission members, questions? Gary, any questions, comments?
No, I think to Tim's point, as long as utilities is satisfied and Tim's satisfied with the design, I don't have any questions at this point.
Okay. Brian, Wallace,
No, I'm good.
Kevin?
The park to the north didn't get any smaller, right? That's the same size as it was from the beginning?
Yeah.
That's the only one I had.
Chris?
Do you have any requirements on how close to the lot line the house can be? And is it different in different areas of this development?
Go ahead.
It is. So the side yards will flex a little bit between the different lot sizes in terms of to the front load to the alley product, for example. We do try to keep those fairly consistent throughout. And I think, I remember what it was, and this was 6 feet, I think, was the minimum side yard from the GDP. And that wouldn't be changed by any of the application.
Okay, so the lots getting smaller nothing would change in that area?
No, those side yards would
Oh,
not
the
get
side yards
smaller.
stay the same.
The house would flex. And that's kind of what the design is for, is to just kind of keep the redesign within the placement in the market, trying to make sure that we have opportunities in all the phases to deliver the full spectrum of housing to the extent possible. And so that's where when we looked at the lot mix that was coming online, especially in that phase 2 area, wanting to bring a little bit more balance. And so that's where the changes happened.
Okay.
Okay. Brian?
No, I don't think I have any questions. Went through the engineer's notes, and they all seem pretty much in line with staff can take care of that. It looks like what I was expecting, anticipating. Random curiosity, though, I don't recall the alignment going by Water Tower Park. Why does it jog the way it does?
Space.
I saw it before.
Any
and
heated discussion.
yeah.
So the Dan Day from Denapro Kaki. So we've got the alignment of the roadway for division connection kind of skirting a little bit to the east there so that we can try and save as many of the trees as possible and not impact the sledding hill is the intent for doing that. So that's why you
Okay.
see that
All right. That's-
little bit of a,
Yep, no, I appreciate that. I feel like it was probably something we asked first time we saw it. I just couldn't recall. So, thanks. No, nothing else.
Okay. So I'm gonna be like the guy that just makes sure that we don't have any residential explosion. When you put in the road, the Division Street extension, do you anticipate blasting with that? Since that's going in, that's a different one than what you were talking about with utilities?
We are not anticipating any blasting with Division. We've already brought the water main up into the booster station up in the area to the north off of Lexington. So we don't have any other deep utilities to do. So I don't believe we should see any in the grading or utility placement of Division connection.
Okay, so there's no, is there rock there or any other?
There's rock at the top of the hill right by the tower, but I think we can get the subgrade without a problem there, and the water main's already in, so I think we're in okay shape, and we don't have to put sanitary sewer in through there.
Okay. Did you find, there's an airplane or a bus or something?
That's the
up
rumor.
there?
We're all anxious, we're anxious to dig this up, see what's up there.
See, I told you those were gonna be tough questions, so, with that. All right, so from filling this portion up, is your plan, how many units do you feel you're gonna be doing once this is ready in the first year of it? Are you feeling to do it like fast, or is it?
So I think our unit count is kind of restricted by the current development agreement, so that's kind of what we're abiding to,
Okay.
is in that
Not
timeframe.
kinda, you are abiding, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I think we're 2 behind right now by the total. If I remember the chart. It's been a little while since I looked at it.
All good with that. So then the person's question about traffic on Verlene and Division. Nile, I'm just gonna ask, because you live there, what are your feelings on that? Has it
Personally,
been,
I think it's going to even out,
okay,
because instead of everyone coming up Division and needing to turn onto Verlene, they'll have a choice.
okay.
But I don't know traffic, so don't quote me on that.
I would concur with that analysis. I mean, as part of, I'm not a traffic engineer, but I kind of know a little bit about it. The more connections you have and the more grid work that you have, it should diversify out and spread out. So when you have that connection to the north with Division, I think it will help that situation, so.
Perfect. I'm just making sure we answer the person's comments, and somebody who lives there too can help me with that, so, perfect. And then, last thing I would ask the commissioners, do you have, any of you, nobody really said anything about how they changed the lots. Does anybody have any concerns or questions about that, or are you all good with it?
Oh, I think people are looking, the more affordable lots we can come up with, and that's a concern in town here, so I think that doesn't affect me. I think it's okay.
Okay,
Small enough adjustment, I guess, and the location of it, yeah.
Brian?
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned about it.
Kevin?
I don't know.
Concern? Okay.
Hey, Chris?
Yeah.
Chris, are you gonna do anything with the park in the northeast corner initially, or just leave it to where it is for right now?
Not yet, we really don't wanna do much until we build the vision. We might put a path in, we'll see, and again, keep in mind, when we're done developing this summer, nobody's gonna live there. Because then we gotta build the houses. So by the time we get the first houses built, kind of have a better idea of what we're gonna do back there, but it might just be putting the trail in, and then Parks will take it from there, because they're really contemplating what to do and how to incorporate the sledding hill and everything else, so we might just end up putting the trail in and that's it.
Chris, one more comment. I mean, those lots that back up to the park, and we haven't seen it in our parks per se as much, but we have a number of homes that have been built in the last 5 years that back up to either wetlands or conservancies, and we have homeowners that have encroached in on the village property.
Yeah.
We need to make sure on all of our plats going forward that there's something in there that we can point back to. We're getting trampolines, baseball diamonds,
Yeah. So it's,
raised gardens
there's a
on our
couple things.
property.
One, we've got a natural barrier of the trees, so you should be fine with that. But two, a lot of municipalities are going to, and we can send you over a picture, they have these, what do they call the plastic,
They're just
They're-
a 4-foot tall brown board that you could put
Yep.
stickers on them.
with with the village emblem on it. You don't have to put them on every home site, but you put them on, a few corners just to mark that it is delineated, that the yards are delineated, and no one's to mow past that.
Right.
Or anything else. And I know Madison does it, Verona does it, and I believe Sun Prairie might be starting to do that too, because they're all having the same problem, so.
All right, thanks.
Okay, so, then we're probably at our point of making a motion. Yes?
The addition, Tim, you
So there
wanted
was,
to
yeah,
make?
some additions to the motion that I was wondering, maybe rehash that, or
Would you like me to reread it? If that'd be a,
That would be-
Go
if
ahead.
that means I can say so moved after it, then,
Yeah.
all right, so with the,
yeah, because
the
it was,
current staff recommendation is staff recommends conditional approval, subject to all staff comments resolved to satisfaction of the community development director and village engineer. In addition, prior to signing the third edition plat, utility easements shall be included with locations subject to approval of the village engineer and Wanakee Utilities. I would like to also point out, this is a little bit different process-wise in that the SIP technically doesn't have to go to the village board. So the way the motion is written, there is that last sentence, approval of the second edition plat and SIP shall be contingent upon the approval of the amended GDP. So I guess what I had said previously about the utility easements would be an addendum onto the recommended motion at the bottom of page 7.
I think I followed it mostly, so so moved.
Okay, so we have a motion by Brian Mills. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Chris Thomas. Any other comments, questions? Call the order. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Yep.
All right.
Sorry about that, it was just more than I jotted.
It was a little tricky.
While the room is clearing, Wanakee Westport Joint Plan Commission update. Discussion of process for moving forward with amendment to the comprehensive plan.
So, yeah, very quickly, you may recall, this body as well as the Joint Plan Commission in December both recommended the beginning or commencement of a process to amend the joint Wanakee Westport comprehensive plan as it relates to lands north of 19 and west of County I. So the Joint Plan Commission will begin that process tomorrow, primarily going through the timeline, but there will likely not be a lot of discussion or decisions, but just announcing that the beginning of that process, and it will take a few months. It will ultimately, the recommendation will come back to both bodies, plan commissions and boards. So that's what's happening tomorrow evening.
Okay? Everybody good with that?
Yeah, I think it's, mostly we're just receiving information tomorrow, and there's not really, I think, a lot for this group maybe to weigh in on yet.
Yep.
Sure.
Agreed.
Yep.
All right, so then, I think that's everything.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Chris Thomas to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Brian Wallace. Anybody want to stay, or everybody want to go? All in favor, say aye to leaving.
Aye.
All right, very good.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, everybody.